we're going to take a look at your 5 goaltending tandems right now. And again, keep in mind, this is going down the stretch of the season.
Sure.
So why don't you take it away? Who you got number 5?
Well, there's somebody that's slathering on the SPF down there in South Florida. That's EJ Raddick. So I might as well start with the Florida Panthers.
What do you think he rocks? Like SPF 50?
I think he's on SPF 50. Yeah,
he's a
sure.
50 guy for
with
sure.
some zinc in
What
it
are
as
you?
well.
I'm a 7. I'm like an SPF 7.
I'd go with an SPF 25.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair.
But somebody that's been hot this year for them, too, has been Sergei Bobrovsky. He's played really well. I'm really happy to see Bob's back to looking like the elite goalie we all know he is. 2-time Vezina Trophy winner. He's regained his confidence. And then the youngster, Spencer Knight, has gotten some starts down the stretch. Roberto Luongo, Leo Luongo, Francois Allaire, and, of course, the rest of the goalie staff have done a great job down there with them as well. I'm really impressed with this duo. They give them a chance night after night. And Robbie Tallister, goalie coach, has really had a good hand and a good influence on what we've seen from them in the net.
And Spencer Knight, you're right, just got a run of, I believe it was 5 straight starts.
Absolutely.
In the absence of Sergei Bobrovsky, he took that puck to the face on the bench, and then I think they just gave him a little bit of extra rest.
Absolutely.
And Spencer Knight looked really good in those games.
20
and I think
years, what is 2021? It's hard to believe.
He's so young.
It's crazy.
So young. But I
crazy.
think just as important, the team looked good in front of him.
Yes.
Right? Because sometimes
absolutely.
the team can look different in front of a different goalie.
No
and
question.
I feel like the Florida Panthers of late have looked just as good in front of Spencer Knight as they had.
Let me double on that. I love that point because he's 20. Our ace statistician, Benny Seltzer, just mentioned this, which means to me he could still be playing in college hockey or he could still be playing in major junior. He's 20.
He's so young.
That's unbelievable.
And
this is not normal.
He played playoff games.
And he played playoff games last year. And he's with an outstanding goalie in Bob. That's work ethic is second to none. His attention to his craft, hyper detail. So he's able to play games, learn, be around Sergei Bobrovsky, a guy that's won 2 Vezinas and still is a top-tier goalie in this league. I love the way the Cats are positioned in the crease right now.
All right. Another cup contender next on your list would be?
I would go with the Avalanche next because Darcy Kemper, as the season's gone on, has played exceptionally well, especially down the stretch here. He's been really good in Colorado and forced them to maybe rethink going out and acquiring another goalie. Darcy Kemper is a big goalie. Pavel Francouz has come in and played very well. When you consider Francouz has returned after double hip surgery, a la Varlamov a few years ago at the Islanders, it's a head scratcher, and he's played exceptionally well. But Darcy Kemper tying a bow on that. He's the #1 man in the crease, but when Francouz gets in, he gives them a chance to win. UC Parkala, their goalie coach as well, has done a really good job with both of these guys who kind of are at different stages in their own respective careers, but you see the numbers. The numbers are excellent for both of them. So Colorado's a great offensive team, but that's moot if you don't have good goaltending.
So Colorado does not go out and acquire a goaltender at the deadline, but your next team did.
Yeah, next team did.
A big one at that.
Exactly. So we can go to the land of 10,000 lakes. I hear all you Minnesota fans. We saw all of you when we were out there, of course, at the Winter Classic at Target Field. Okay, there's no more doom and gloom. It starts to be uplifted. Your team's fun to watch. And Cam Talbot was an all-star this year. And you go out and not only have Cam Talbot, that's an all-star, and he's rediscovered his form. Wasn't he first star of the week?
Yep.
In the National?
Cam Talbot was.
First star of the week.
I love that posting a shutout right after the
Right after. He's like, all right. Totally. He's like, all right, cool. Oh, and now we got the flower too? Totally. 100%. So now you're bringing the flower, and I know both these guys very well. I've known Cam since he came in the league with the Rangers. I've known Flower over the years since playing against him as an 18-year-old. These, perhaps, of all the goalies we're going to mention, I mean, these guys in the room and what they mean to their teammates and the way their teammates respect them, it's a huge part of the chemistry. And you've often heard that with Marc-Andre Fleury. Same thing with Cam Talbot. His teammates loved him at every stop. He's a team-first guy. These guys now have that 1-2 top #1 goalies, an all-star, and the rating Vezina Trophy winner.
Pretty good.
I mean, that's great. So props to Billy Guerin. He's done an outstanding job there.
18 games left. How would you divvy up the starts between the two? And keep in mind, there's 4 back-to-backs on the slate for the Minnesota Wild the rest of the season. So you got 18 games. To your point, 2 really good starting goaltenders. How would you split it up if it was you?
So let's say everybody's healthy, right? Say both goalies are healthy down the stretch, 18 remaining. I'd give 10 to the Flower, and I'd give Cam 8 because you want Cam to continue to play as well as he's played down the stretch. And you want him to be respected for everything he's done and helped transform this team. And then we know Flower's one of the all-time greats. You want to give him some more games. Look at this save sequence here. You want to give the Flower some more games to continue to get acclimated to his new team. But either way, if you're head coach Dean Evason right now, he goes into the garage and he's not looking at the F-150 or the Dodge Ram right now. You know what I mean? No disrespect, because those are utility trucks.
Right.
He's looking at the Lamborghini and the Ferrari right now. It's like,
not looking at the Prius.
Exactly. Okay. So he's in a great spot, and that's a great spot to be in as a coach.
Oh, my goodness.
Right?
Is it ever? 4 back-to-backs, by the way. The final 2 games of the season is a back-to-back Calgary, Colorado,
oh my gosh.
So that'll be fun.
Nothing easy,
unless
man.
Everything's figured out, in
yeah,
which case it could be an interesting lineup. But number 2 on your list.
Number 2, I'm going to go to Beantown. I'm going to go to Boston, right? So you're probably hanging out there. You're a Bees fan. It's afternoon. You're having a Boston's finest. I don't know. Maybe you're watching the Bo Sox in spring training. Whatever you're doing. Here's what I do know. Yes, it was tough with the great Tuukka Rask, who had to retire, but I said this from the jump. They're already loaded with Swayman. This guy's a stud. Do your homework. Go back to watching him at University of Maine. College hockey, Mike Richter, goalie of the year award winner. This guy's been a stud, and Allmark has been really good. How about this, though? I talked about that chemistry.
I love that.
Right?
I love
and guys
it
that
so
love
much.
playing with each other. And here are the numbers. I mean, Allmark, we had him on our NHL Network Showcase game the other day. 20 wins on the year. Nice numbers. Jeremy Swayman's numbers are off the charts. So we had Coach Cassidy on during the trade deadline. Had a chance to speak to him. Same thing. He goes to the garage. 2 great options for them up in Beantown. I love their goaltending right now.
You know, I was looking at Jeremy Swayman's numbers last week, and I was like, oh, I have been sleeping on Jeremy Swayman.
Yes.
I was like, oh, my goodness. Check out his numbers since Tuukka officially retired. They're off the wall.
Yeah.
All right, number 1.
All right, number 1. Let's hear that again, Buford. Calgary
CGY.
Flames. CGY. Yeah, let's go up to the Dome. Why won't we? They've got 11 combined shutouts. I mean, what Markstrom and Dan Vladar have done, and more importantly, this team under Daryl Sutter, it's been absolutely a masterclass in transforming your team and your culture. I'll be real. The Flames always leave you wanting more. Not this year. Starting in the net, Markstrom's been excellent. We know he was a prize free agent signing a few years ago. Leads the league with 9 shutouts. Dan Vladar, when he gets in, has played really well, too, with 2 shutouts of his own. And this team, when you look at the plus-minuses of these players, starting with Johnny Gaudreau, and, of course, that top line, Elias Lindholm, Matthew Tkachuk. Yes, a lot of it is structure. A lot of it is their buy-in. A lot of it is coaching. But you got to look back at the Tendies and tip your hat to them, because they've been great, too.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
And in the lead right now, for anyone wondering, for the Jennings, is the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yes,
with
exactly.
their tandem. What have you made of them?
I think their tandem's amazing, too. And Freddie and Auntie, I had a chance to speak to them doing their game down there for ESPN. I have them right there on the cusp. The hard thing is they do such a good job of playing defensively in front of them.
Yeah.
So I had to weigh that into the equation. But they're very consistent with what those 2 guys have brought. How about this? Especially given the fact that this is their first year there. So it's Freddie's first year and it's Auntie Ranta's first year. And I remember speaking to Auntie. He said he had no idea that it was going to be Carolina. His agent called him out of the blue and said, hey, the Canes are interested. Here's the deal. Do you want it? He's like, absolutely.